Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Fan, your ultimate destination for all things America's team. Whether you bleed blue and silver or are just starting to catch Cowboys fever, this is the place. If you are a die-hard fan, please make sure to subscribe for more latest news and updates of your favorite team. Alright, let's get into today's huge story coming out of the Star in Frisco, Texas. Cowboys Nation has been holding their collective breath ever since their defensive superstar, Micah Parsons, appeared to be dealing with some discomfort during their last game. Well, head coach Mike McCarthy just stepped up to the podium and dropped some major news about the Defensive Player of the Year candidate. But first, let me set the scene for those who might have missed it. During Sunday's intense matchup, Parsons, who's been absolutely terrorizing quarterbacks this season with his incredible pass-rushing ability, was seen several times getting attention from the training staff on the sideline. You know, when a player of Parsons' caliber shows any sign of being less than 100%, it sends shockwaves through the entire organization. Now, here's where things get interesting. McCarthy, who's usually pretty tight-lipped about injuries, actually gave us a surprisingly detailed update on Parsons' situation. According to the head coach, Parsons has been dealing with what they're calling a minor knee irritation. But before you panic, Cowboys Nation, McCarthy emphasized that this isn't something they're overly concerned about. In fact, and this is the good news, Parsons has been participating in practice, though they're being smart about managing his workload. Let's break down why this is such crucial information for the Cowboys' defensive scheme. Parsons isn't just any linebacker, he's a generational talent who's been putting up absolutely ridiculous numbers this season. We're talking about a guy who's already racked up multiple sacks, forced fumbles, and has been making offensive coordinators lose sleep trying to figure out how to contain him. After all, the NFL is a "what have you done for me lately" league. And if Doc can't start delivering more consistent, high-level play, the Cowboys might have to start considering whether he's truly the answer at QB. That's not an easy decision, but it's one they may have to make if he can't get things turned around. After all, the NFL is a "what have you done for me lately" league. And if Doc can't start delivering more consistent, high-level play, the Cowboys might have to start considering whether he's truly the answer at QB. That's not an easy decision, but it's one they may have to make if he can't get things turned around. Finally, this whole situation is going to have a major impact on the Cowboys' off-season plans. With Doc's performance being such a hot-button issue, you can bet that addressing the QB position is going to be a top priority. The team might look to bring in a veteran backup who can push Doc, or they may even explore the possibility of drafting a developmental QB. And beyond that, the Cowboys are going to have to carefully evaluate the rest of their roster and figure out where the weaknesses are. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about Doc. The whole team needs to be better if they want to make a deep playoff run next season. So in summary, this is a pivotal moment for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. The head coach has made it clear that the QB needs to step up his game, and the pressure is on. Dak's long-term future with the team could even be at stake if he can't turn things around. It's going to be fascinating to see how he and the Cowboys respond in the offseason. His versatility to line up anywhere on the field has been a cornerstone of defensive coordinator Dan Quinn's aggressive scheme. Speaking of numbers, let me throw some stats at you that really show just how valuable Parsons is to this Dallas defense. Through the games he's played this season, he's been generating pressure on quarterbacks at an elite rate of over 20% of his pass rushing snaps. That's not just good, that's historically good. Pro Football Focus has him graded as one of the top edge defenders in the entire NFL, and he's been making a serious case for Defensive Player of the Year considerations. Now, I've been talking to some sources close to the team, and here's something interesting that hasn't been widely reported. The Cowboys training staff has actually been implementing some innovative recovery techniques with Parsons. They're using a combination of traditional treatment methods along with some cutting-edge recovery technology to ensure he stays at peak performance. McCarthy mentioned that they're being proactive rather than reactive with his treatment plan. But here's where things get really interesting for the Cowboys' upcoming schedule. They've got some crucial divisional games coming up, and having Parsons at full strength is absolutely essential for their playoff push. The coaching staff is well aware that they need to play the long game here. They're looking at the bigger picture, making sure their defensive cornerstone is healthy for what they hope will be a deep playoff run. Now, I want to take a moment to address something I've been seeing in the comments section of my previous videos. A lot of you have been asking about how this might impact the Cowboys' defensive rotations. Well, McCarthy actually touched on that too. They've been working on some interesting packages that could help maintain their defensive intensity even while managing Parsons snaps. They've got some young talent that's been stepping up in practice, and this could be an opportunity for them to show what they can do. Let's also talk about the timing of this news. With the playoff race heating up and every game becoming increasingly crucial, the Cowboys are in a position where they need all hands on deck. But here's my take, and I've been covering the NFL for years. This kind of transparent injury management is actually a positive sign. It shows that the organization is being smart about handling their star players, something that hasn't always been the case with NFL teams. For fantasy football players out there, and I know there are a lot of you in the comments, here's what this means for IDP leagues. Parsons remains a must-start when active. The coaching staff's comments suggest they're going to keep him involved in their defensive game plan, just with more strategic usage. If anything, this could lead to him being even more effective in the snaps he does play. Before we wrap this up, let's put this situation in perspective. The Cowboys have been building something special this season, and Parsons has been a huge part of that. The fact that they're being cautious with his health shows just how valuable he is to their defensive scheme. Remember, this is a defense that's been among the league leaders in sacks and turnovers, and a lot of that success can be attributed to the havoc Parsons creates on the field. All right, nation, that's the latest on the Micah Parsons situation. But before you go, drop a comment below with your thoughts. How do you think this will impact the Cowboys' defensive performance in their upcoming games? And while you're at it, don't forget to ring that bell to stay notified about all the latest NFL news and updates. This has been your boy, coming at you with the latest from Dallas. As always, keep it locked right here for all your NFL news and analysis. Peace out, nation.